So guys, welcome back to yet another episode of DSA Python series. And today we will be talking about 2D matrix. 2D matrix. Okay. So guys, you must have studied in your 11th standard what a 2D matrix is. So it's basically there are certain rows and certain columns. Okay. So let's say there are some numbers 2, -1, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11, 2, 3, 9, 1, 0, right? So these are called rows, right? These are all rows. Okay. And all these are called as columns. You all know it. These are all columns. Okay. So in Python, how do we visualize or how do we write the 2D matrix? Okay. How do we write the 2D matrix? Okay. So let us say this is my 2D matrix. So I'll just erase. Now these are all my rows, okay, and these are all my columns. So similar to the indexes which we studied in uh, list, okay, one dimensional list, right? So there are elements and we have indexes from 0, 1, 2. So similarly here also in 2D matrix we have indices, okay. So we have these I, okay. So these are all I and these are all J, right? So this is column, this represents column, and this represents the rows, okay. So how to write the, let's say this matrix is my nums, okay. So how do I write nums? Okay, how do I write nums? So I can write num like this. So nums is equal to, let's say, nums is equal to. So when there are 2D matrix, first of all, I have to reserve some space and I will have this comma, this comma, this. Okay, like this. Okay. So first of all, there is a big square bracket, and within these square brackets, I have these three rows. So these are all rows because my I is only 3. Okay. So these are in fact rows. Okay. So the index of these rows are 0, 1, 2, just like here. Okay. The index is I if I consider This is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So this is how I represent it. Okay. So I can write the elements. Okay, I can write the elements also. How do I write the elements? So in this, in these rows I have how many columns? I have 4 columns. Okay, so here I should write all the 4 columns. Okay, this is how I write. So this is 2, then -1, then 5, then 6. Okay, and if you just make it little big, 8, 9, 11, and 2, like this. And here next with comma, this is comma, 1390, 1 comma 3 comma 9 comma 0, like this, and this is the closing bracket. So this is 2. Okay, this one is 2. So this is how we represent any column and any row within the matrix. This is a matrix. Matrix has nums. Okay, this is how we represent the. Now in Python there is a way to, iterate every element. How do I iterate every element in Python? In Python, how do I iterate? Okay, so first of all, I'll have this rows is equal to, let's say this is my row, these are all my rows. Okay, so these are all rows. Okay, so rows is equal to length of nums. Okay, whatever is the length of nums, that will be equal to the number of rows. Okay, so how many rows are there? So there are basically 3 rows, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so this represent us, just consider this as a single element for some time. Consider this as single element, x, y, and z. Okay, there are 3 elements. Okay, just forget about how many elements are inside these x, y's, and z. So there are basically three elements in my nums. So my length of nums will be obviously 3, right? That will be my length of nums. Okay, and what will be the column length? So my column length will be simple, column is equal to what is my column length? Anything within these index. So length of nums of 0, right? So what is nums of 0? Nums of 0 is my x and length of x. So length of x will be my column length. And what is x? It is length of nums of 0, right? So it can be 0 also, nums of 0, or it can be nums of 1, or it can be nums of 2. It doesn't matter. Okay, this is equal to length of nums of 1, okay, is equal to length of nums of 2, right? So all these are equal. Okay, all these are equal. So this is how we represent the matrices in Python. Represent matrices in Python, right? This is how we represent. Okay. Now, if I say I want to iterate any row or column, okay, or if I want to change anything, how do I do that? Okay, so we can do that with for loop. Okay, so this is my rows. Let's say I have assumed this rows are length of nums. Okay, so I have this uh, length of nums is equal to rows, and call is equal to length of nums of I, right? This will be my column. Okay, so I have to, if I have to iterate, then I have to consider two iterating element, two iterators. Okay, two iterators, that is I as well as j. I have to consider this both. So what will be my this thing? I have to consider, nested for loop, right? Nested for loop. I have to consider this nested for loop. Okay. Okay. So let us start writing the code for I in range, I in range 0 to n, right? And we have uh, assumed length of nums. Okay, and this is my I, and what is my j? For j in range 0 to column. Okay, this column 0 to col. Okay, 0 to column. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll have to iterate. So these are all my iterating elements. This I have assumed, and what I'll do, I'll just print. Okay, what I'll print nums of I j. Okay, and I'll just have some space, end is equal to this space. Okay, double inverted comma. Okay, I'll just close this bracket. Yes, and out of this for loop, I'll just have to, because I have to print, I'll just put this print function. This will entirely print the whole array. Okay, print the whole array. Okay, So this is how we do everything in uh, 2D matrix. So this is my 2D matrix, right? And I have basically tried to write this matrix in form of list, okay, in form of 2D list. So in Python we write these like this, okay, like this. And if we want to iterate the element in Python, then what is my rows? Rows will be length of nums, as I already told, and column will be length of x, where x is my nums of I, or nums of 0, nums of 1, or nums of 2, okay, anything, right? Anything can be there. And how this is how we can represent the matrix in Python. Rows is equal to length of nums, column is equal to length of nums of I. So this I is my, it can be anything, 0, 1, or 2, or any number, uh, which is the length of nums, right? And when we start iterating, we will be requiring this I and j, both elements, right? Both the iterator. And the only thing is, it can be represented is through for loop, okay. So for I in range 0 to n, okay, it will run through 0 to n, okay. And with j we have this 0 to column, where column is my length of nums of I, right? So my nums of I is this. And what is the length? The length becomes 4. Length of this nums of I is 4. Nums of I. Length of nums of I. Or this one. Length of nums of I. Or this one. Length of nums of I. All these are equal, and we will be getting the length of the column, okay. These are all columns, okay. Column will be 4, okay. That is why we are getting this 4 column. You can see here, this is 1 column, this is 2 column, this is third column, and this is fourth column. So this is how we represent the matrix, okay. And this is how we iterate the matrix also, okay. So let us try doing